So imagine your child is in what you believe is a completely consensual relationship. But then you find out that they're being investigated for a sex crime. That's the moment people realize for the first time in New Jersey that consent is not always what decides whether a crime has occurred. We represent individuals and families all the time that believe that if they're in a consensual relationship, then there's nothing illegal about what's going on. But New Jersey law treats age very differently than what most people assume. And what makes this even more difficult is even the legitimate explanation of misunderstanding the law or genuinely believing the person's age is not an excuse. You're still guilty of that crime in the eyes of the law in the state of New Jersey. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through how New Jersey handles these age-based offenses, what the law actually looks like, and why these cases are far more technical than people expect. I'm Daniel Rosenberg. I'm a criminal defense attorney, and a major part of my job is educating individuals on the law when they're caught in situations that they never imagined they would be in. When people hear the phrase statutory rape, they think that that is describing some sort of violent crime. And that's just simply not the case. In fact, in New Jersey, there is no crime called statutory rape. It's called sexual assault and endangering the welfare of a child. See, what matters most is not whether or not someone actually consents. It is whether they have the ability to legally consent, and your age absolutely matters, not only the alleged victim's age. This distinction is critical. And that's because under the law, someone can absolutely say, yes, I consent, and they absolutely mean it. And that doesn't matter because they don't have the legal ability to consent. And what's more, if the person lies to you and says, yes, I'm of age, and then they consent, if they're not of age, you're still guilty of a crime. New Jersey generally sets the age of consent at 16 years of age. But that doesn't mean that every situation involving someone under the age of 16 automatically becomes criminal. And that's because the law has an exception if you are within 4 years of the individual providing consent. So, if you are under the age of 16, for instance, 15 years of age, if the person you are engaged in that relationship is within 4 years, that's a consensual relationship. That's not a violation of the law. If you are 14 years of age and the person is 18, that's a consensual relationship. That's not a violation of the law. If you're 15 years old and you're engaged in a sexual relationship with someone who is 20, that's a crime. You're being charged. So one of the problems is a misconception of the law. And people think that, hey, I was in a consensual relationship. There was no coercion. I didn't know their exact age. Their parents knew about this. None of those are valid legal defenses. If the ages don't match, you are being charged and can be convicted of that crime. Even more, if someone tells you, hey, I am 18 years of age, they show you a fake ID that says they're 18, and you have on video that they're consenting to that interaction, and they turn out to be under the age of consent and you're not within 4 years, it doesn't matter. You're being charged and can be convicted for that. See, the criminal code is drafted to protect minors from sexual exploitation, and it doesn't matter if it's consensual, it doesn't matter what your intent was, it doesn't matter that you didn't know what the law was. The rules are harsh. Now, the seriousness of the charge will depend on a number of factors, including the actual age of the individuals, the age gap between the individuals, and the alleged conduct. Was there any alleged force or coercion? Was it consensual? Did the parents know about it? And as those factors shift, the exposure can increase significantly. This can potentially result in not only a felony conviction, but Megan's Law registration, state prison time. This is going to affect your employment moving forward. Are we going to be able to expunge this or not? A lot of sex-related crimes are not able to be expunged at a later date. Every application for a job, every application for school is going to be affected, not to mention that if there is a Megan's Law component, that's going to require registration for at a minimum of 15 years. The stakes are so high that is why these cases demand significant analysis from the very beginning. What you don't want to do is try to explain your way out of this and speak to the police, mistake number one, and tell them, look, this was a consensual relationship. The parents knew about it. This is how long we've been meeting. No one was really harmed. That's not going to do you any good. What is going to help you is, number one, don't speak to the police. Speak to an attorney who understands sex crimes and doesn't dabble in criminal law. This is extremely nuanced. The stakes are very high. You need a team that is going to know exactly what the law is and what the changes in the law are to help better defend you. And what we can do is analyze your phone, analyze the text messaging, see what you knew and didn't know, determine whether or not this relationship began at a lawful period or extended over a lawful period. There are a lot of practical considerations that can mean the difference between an actual conviction and a downgrade to a lesser crime or an ultimate dismissal. The biggest mistake people make in this situation is assuming that they understand how the law works, that what they're doing wasn't wrong, that they don't understand that no one gives a about what you thought and what your genuine intention was. If you violated the law, you are a rapist. You are a sexual assault predator, and that's how you're going to be viewed. So if you or someone you know is facing a sex-related crime, please contact our office. We handle these cases regularly and we'd be happy to review your case, provide you with education and information, and put you in the best position for the best possible result. We are criminal trial attorneys. We have your back. That's what we do.